Hello and welcome to another episode of Breathe More. Today I want us to go down memory lane. I've been reflecting lately on my childhood and how growing up in a household with parents who are immigrants, who don't speak the language, who were on survival mode, who were dealing with anxiety, addiction, a big family, and not having a lot of money, it gave very little room to dream. As a child, we have very vivid imaginations, and a lot of times we use imagining things as a way to feel better, as a way to escape from our reality. I found early on that whenever I would share my big dreams with my mom or my dad, they would look at me like I was crazy. They would shut it down. They would tell me, we can't afford that. No, you can't do that. No, that's not for us. It was a lot of no's. And so I learned early on that it was unsafe to share my desires with people, that it was wrong. My parents were doing their best in keeping myself. I'm the oldest of four. I have three younger sisters. And they were just doing what they could to keep us alive. So anything beyond that, there was just no energy or capacity for it. I was told to get a good job, an office job, stay in Napa, that's where I grew up, have a family, well, get married, have a family, and just live this small, safe life. Don't use your voice too much. Just smile, say everything's okay. Don't rattle anything. Just accept it. Basically, be invisible. But there was something inside of me that would reject that. No, I don't want just a regular office job. My mom's goal for me was to become a secretary. I remember when I was a teenager in high school and my dentist asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? Which, by the way, that's such a loaded question to ask a child. I'm in my 40s now and I'm still like, what do I want to do in my life? Obviously, I love what I do right now, but there's just so much pressure in feeling like you have to decide one thing that you're going to do for the rest of your life. And I literally told him, I don't know. My mom says that I should be a secretary. And he told me, you can be more than just a secretary. And that's not to be offensive to anyone who's an assistant or anything like that. It's a really hard job and it takes very specific skills to do well at that, to excel. And so him telling me, you can do whatever you want, you can become more than a secretary, it was a lifeline for me. I took that comment and I started to take action towards a bigger life, not knowing what that would look like. Obviously, we're told to go to college. Coming from a household where no one went to college, like I was the first one. Also, my parents didn't know anything about what it was required of you to attend university. So another thing that I've been struggling with my whole life is feeling like there's all these rules to life, to being successful, to doing well. And I don't know what they are. I feel like I'm finally in it, and then I just have to figure it out. It's stressful. I have felt a lot of resentment towards that, where I feel like I have always been behind, but I also have used it to my advantage. And now with my work, I use all of those experiences to inspire people to dream, to not give up on their goals, whatever they may be, no matter how old you are, no matter what you're currently doing for work or what your situation is. I grew up in a household, as I mentioned, with very little resources, with a lot of love, but little support, where even when I applied to college and I got accepted to all 5 universities that I was accepted to, my parents begged me to stay home, to not go to UC Berkeley, to not go to UCLA, to stay in my childhood home with my sisters and just go to the community college. Again, there is nothing wrong with that being your trajectory, with you doing that. But I needed to leave my little town. I needed to have other experiences. My soul wanted expansion, to be challenged in a different way. And so I decided to go to Berkeley. And that in itself, it was so exciting and I loved it. But there were all these other challenges again, because I didn't know what I was doing. I had no guidance. It was a journey. We don't need to go full deep into my UC Berkeley experience. But what I appreciated about that was the exposure that I got to something different than my reality. That allowed me to think even bigger, to see things through a different lens, to learn that there's different ways of doing things, to meet new people, to have different beliefs, to try new foods. Oh my gosh, I fell in love with the food scene in Berkeley. I feel like that's where the foodie enemy came alive, and just couldn't get enough of all these different foods from different cultures. I remember noticing during my first few weeks at school at UC Berkeley that even the squirrels looked different. I was blown away. They had a different outfit. In Napa, the squirrels had a gray outfit. And in Berkeley, they were brown. I was blown away. And with that, I just continued to dismantle and break through the limitations that I was given, the small dreams that I had inherited. I rejected them. And it did create a lot of tension in my family, a lot of misunderstanding. It made me feel really lonely as well, where I just wanted to meet other people who could relate. I wanted a community that could identify with my experiences, but not just that was striving for more. People who weren't going to let their circumstances define who they are. And to be honest with you, I never really found that community. I found individuals, but a core group of people, I didn't. And so when I embarked in my business and creating programs for all of you, yes, it started with helping you manage your stress and anxiety and give you hope if you were feeling depressed. But then that little me that was still craving for community, that still wanted the support and the encouragement to go after really bold desires, I hadn't found it. So I decided to create it. And that's what gave birth to my Dream Bigger Mastermind. I created it over 3 years ago during the pandemic, where people in general, I was just seeing going to the freeze state, giving up, falling into fear. And my nervous system did the opposite. It was fighting. It was creating. It was not giving up. And so I wanted to bring that energy into other people's life and to encourage them and to help them create a path towards realizing their goals. My Dream Bigger Mastermind has had over 50 people that have participated at this point. And every time that I host it, it just brings me so much joy to see the transformation, to see people sign up with fear, with reservation, with concerns about the investment, with uncertainty, but not letting that quiet little voice inside of them telling them there must be another way. We can't give up. I'm holding on to that little hope that things can change for me too. And so together we go on this journey of 6 months where we show up almost weekly to talk about what's going on in our life. What are the challenges? What are the wins? And having that loving, safe, supportive community where you can just be your full, authentic self, where you don't have to show up and pretend that you have everything figured out, where you can vocalize and say, I'm really tired right now, and I took no action this week. I listened to my body, and it was telling me, you just need to rest right now. Take care of yourself, ground, have some fun. And that doesn't mean that you're failing. That doesn't mean that you're falling behind. And every week and every month that goes by, you just see, even physically, how they're showing up, changing. And that inspires other people. And that gives their brain, my brain, evidence that the impossible is possible. And it has a ripple effect. So then when they show up out in the world, at work, interacting with their family members, their energy is different. And that is going to affect people in a different way. People might even start noticing like, hey, I'm noticing you look different, or you're glowing, or you just seem so much more confident. What are you doing? And their little secret is the Dream Bigger Mastermind. This program is not just the group coaching of us coming into community. But what I found in my early years of hosting this program is that there would be a lot of change and transformation just with the group calls. But those limiting beliefs, those stories that have been ingrained in their unconscious mind was creating a lot of resistance and blocks. And so when I work with people, I show up 100%. I meet you and I help you do anything that I can to achieve your goals. And so noticing that inspired me to also include in the Dream Bigger Mastermind private sessions so that we can really zero in on that belief, on that identity that isn't serving you anymore and changing it. Reframing how you're viewing something. Bringing in another way of seeing things, a new belief, so that you can apply for that promotion, so that you can ask for that raise, so that you can start using your voice and feel safe doing so. And with that, just in our last group, we have people who have manifested just amazing things, from showing up, struggling financially, being burnt out, feeling really insecure, to having multiple job offers, 6-figure job offers, basically a bidding war of people wanting to work with them or hire them. We had people manifest love after being single for so long. We had people manifest or cultivate just more self-compassion and confidence. We had someone do such deep healing that their relationship with their parents changed, that the way that they showed up in their life was different. And these are more intangible results. But as I told this client, like, this is a new foundation that you have built for your life. This is what's going to be at the bottom of everything else that you're creating for yourself. That's so important. That's what's going to create a sustainable future in how you want it to look. So I absolutely love my mastermind. I know my clients have found so much value from it that they continue to join year after year. At this point, I have folks who have participated 3-4 times in Mastermind. And every time we up-level their life a little bit more. I created this for little me, for my teenage me, for my 20-year-old me who was lost in college, for my mid to 30-year-old me in LA who was also just trying things left and right, feeling lost, but at the end, still holding on to that vision of more. So if you're a dreamer, if you're someone who hasn't given up, if you are someone who's craving for that community to share your goals, to reprogram your beliefs, to bring more ease into your life, I invite you to join my Dream Bigger Mastermind. They are intimate containers where it's a limited amount of people so that you all get time sharing your truth, your dreams. So if you're interested, I encourage you to apply today. Go to my website, analilia.net/mastermind. And let's help you create these dreams that you've been maybe keeping to yourself. Because perhaps for you too, it hasn't been safe for you to share these desires, for you to live a different life than how you saw your family live their life. I can't wait for this new group to start. We are starting at the end of October. We have so much planned, so much transformation, and it's just the perfect way to end the year and also start the new year feeling inspired, confident, hopeful, and ready for more. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.